Chris McCaffrey, you may have heard of him.
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work.
Now, and people I'm sure at home, or wherever you watch this, I don't know, a park bench, an insane asylum, who knows, maybe at a bar with us, that would be great. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, drink up, are probably going like, really, Barry? You
like Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah. Oh, you like Chris McCaffrey? Let me write that down. You know.
Yeah. You think Tom Brady's got a football too?
Exactly. It's and so I'm sure they're probably sitting there, doing that. I've got him ranked number 2 overall. He's going 5th overall on Yahoo, and that's my argument. He's going as the running back 3 on Yahoo. I've seen him go as low as 5 overall, and so putting him on the love list is my way of saying, like, I'm in. I get it. He's burned you the last 2 years. He's missed over 20 games the last 2 years. You've used an early round pick on him, and he has hurt you. He's played in only 10 games since 2020. I understand the anti-Christian McCaffrey argument. My argument is very simply like to quote me about Alvin Kamara, he's really blanking good.
Yeah, he's good.
Really blanking good.
Also, the thing with him is the injury risk. Every running back is an injury risk.
Every running back.
Yes, he is more of an injury risk than Jonathan Taylor, but honestly, not that much more because of the nature of the position. And some of these injuries, I'd be a little bit worried about, the hamstring that he did, but these other injuries, it's like a lineman falls on his ankle. Like that can happen to anyone. He had his shoulder sprained. That's not predictive of necessarily future injuries.
There is a difference in terms of injuries. There are players that are injury prone and there are players that are unlucky.
Yeah.
And we both think Chris McCaffrey's just been unlucky the last 2 years.
It's not a degenerative knee or anything. It's random stuff keeps
It's not
happening.
a soft tissue issue that's going to continually come up. And so I keep going back to this. But again, it is the Talladega Nights Ricky Bobby quote, if you ain't first, you're last.
One of your favorites.
Right, it really is. And so, as is, he's really blanking good.
Yeah, that's the new one.
That's the new one. Let's get that on T-shirts. Can we get that on T-shirts, right? And so you can't bleep a T-shirt. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, whatever. I mean, I have a page full of, literally a page full of stats. Do you guys need me to talk about how good Chris McCaffrey is? Do I really need to read a bunch of stats here? Here's one that includes Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, my guy.
Here's a stat.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, 61 completions to running backs last season with the Browns. Running backs accounted for 24% of his completions last year. And that was with like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. None of them are as good as Chris McCaffrey. Right,
looks
there
amazing.
You go. Look how now he's in practice. Here he's blocking.
Incredible blocking.
You don't get fantasy points for blocking, but it's cool to look at. You should. Well, he certainly looks fast there.
He's so much faster than us.
Very fast, very fast. He dives down, looks fully healthy there. We're showing very exciting video of him. Anyway, whatever. Chris McCaffrey, when he's healthy, is awesome, and I'm buying into it. He's on the love list. Let's move on to 2 teammates, and that's Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And it's weird because, so Matt LaFleur, we played the quote on the show earlier this week, calling them 1A and 1A. And so you're like, wow, you got 2 guys.
It's annoying.
It is annoying.
Yeah.
But it is intuitive. It's also helpful because it tells you, like, listen, A.J. Dillon's going to get his.
Yep.
My question is, I think people see that and they're like, oh, it's going to be committee. I want no part of a committee. And I disagree. I think you want both pieces of the committee. I argue that I believe both Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are startable running backs this year. I would invest in both guys this year. I think both guys are undervalued. I should have started the show this way, and I didn't. But love-hate for people who are, whatever, I'm not a host. I'm not a host and I'm half drunk. But if you look at the numbers here on your screen, they're pretty equal in terms of what they're doing. We expect with no Davante Adams, there's more fantasy goodness to go around to both these guys. It's going to be a more balanced offense. They're going to have both running backs on the field at the same time. I think they're going to get more creative. Love-hate is always about ADP. I don't love players. I don't hate players. I love and hate their average draft position, specifically on Yahoo. Aaron Jones is going 16th overall. I have him at 13th overall. In the 7 games that Davante Adams missed with Green Bay under the Matt LaFleur era with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, Aaron Jones averaged 25.7 fantasy points per game, would have been the number 1 running back in fantasy last year. He averages almost 5 receptions a game when Adams is out. Big part of the passing game. And then you think about A.J. Dillon here, who should get more work, had more rushing touchdowns, actually was better than Jones from week 4 on last year. Dillon is going like in the 6th round. I think that's insane too. Both guys are viable.
Yep. Couple things here too. Right now, we have the Packers favored in every single game they're playing this year, outside of at Tampa Bay and at Buffalo. So they're favored in 15 of 17 games, which means they're going to be running the ball in fourth quarters. They're going to have those opportunities. Every team in their division, outside of them, has a bad run defense. So bottom 10 by DVOA, there's going to be opportunity to run. And then with Devontae Adams out, like we're looking at, well, I think most people are looking at like, oh, is Romeo Doubs going to step up? It's Christian Watson. They're looking at wide receiver out. Who's the wide receiver in? No, it's like wide receiver out, running backs up. Because I think it's going to go to Jones and Dillon. They're the guys who really benefit from Adams being out.
A.J. Dillon caught 34 of 37 passes last year, which isn't a massive number, but it just goes to show, like, here's a guy that didn't catch a ton of passes in college, and people look at him. I've said this before, but they look at those massive thighs. I'm jealous of those massive thighs, Quadzilla, the quad father, and like this guy can't catch.
Yeah.
And I think last year he proved that he could, and so I think you'll see him more involved in the passing game as well. Again, it is weird, but I believe both players are undervalued on Yahoo. Nice use of DVOA. Shout out to Aaron Schatz. He's somewhere he's going at home like, wow, that was pretty awesome. All right. Now this is the hate section.
Sad.
This is the negative. This is sad.
Well,
but again, people. I don't hate players. I hate ADP. I think that's important. Every player has value if you can get them at the right price. I just don't think Nick Chubb is going at the right price. Currently going as running back 9. I'm at running back 16 in PPR. Here's a guy who had 6 different games of less than 10 fantasy points in 2021. He's averaged just 23 receptions in his career per season. 23. He's not part of the passing game. He is volume and touchdown dependent. Good offensive line.
Not as good now, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not as good, 100%. They've had some losses on that offensive line in Cleveland. And let's face it. So Jacoby Brissett is a massive downgrade from what they had last year.
Yep.
Forget Deshaun Watson. He's a downgrade from Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And so I don't think this offense is going to be as efficient or as in scoring position as much as it was last year. I thought it was interesting, Jay, that they re-signed D'Ernest Johnson to a nice deal for a third round, for a number 3 running back. They gave him some real money, in the running back world. And so I weirdly think D'Ernest Johnson, I don't think he gets a massive workshop, but if D'Ernest Johnson gets 5 touches a game, 7 touches a game somehow, that eats into Chubb because Kareem Hunt's also going to get his. Nick Chubb is one of the best pure runners in the NFL. I'm not questioning his NFL talent, but to have him go 9th ahead of guys like I've seen him go ahead of Aaron Jones, I'm out on him at his current ADP. Again, I am at running back 16, 28th overall. He's going 15th on Yahoo.
Yeah, I think the analog for what this Cleveland offense might look like, and it's not going to be this bad, but that Monday night game against the Raiders where their whole team had COVID, Baker Mayfield was out, it was the Nick Mullins show. Jacoby Brissett's better than Nick Mullins, but it's not like he's miles and miles better.
Right.
And that game, Chubb had 23 carries for 91 yards. He got the entire workload because Kareem Hunt was out. But 1 reception, he had a touchdown, but that's kind of the best case you're looking at. And I think he's a guy who's going to he'll probably have 1,100, 1,200 yards, 10 TDs, but no passing game work and not as many red zone opportunities because the offense is going to be worse with Brissett. And then you've got Kareem Hunt breathing down your neck as well. So it's difficult to really see the upside that you want when you're looking at someone that high in the draft.
And then you think about the other running backs that are going around him: Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
All of them more. All of them have 3-down ability. All of them will catch passes. Again, even if you're on Yahoo and you're in half-point PPR, it adds up. Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, all of them have top 3 running back in fantasy upside the way that Nick Chubb doesn't, unless Nick Chubb suddenly scores like 20 touchdowns. And we're just not expecting that given they got 11 games of Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And then they've got Deshaun Watson who hasn't played, won't have played football in a year and a half when he shows up.
Exactly.
Look, so I have Miles Sanders on the hate list. It is kind of a tradition, if I'm being honest here, right? Is the 3rd year in a row, Aaron Rodgers, I've had Miles Sanders on the hate list. I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah.
And I might be going to the well one too many times here by putting him on the hate list because his ADP continues to drop. People are, before he was being drafted as like a 1st rounder, then a 2nd round, and I'm just like, guys, look at this offense. He's finally now going down. He's running back 28. He's going 73rd overall. I'm at 80th overall. So I'm in the same range here. But my concern on Miles Sanders is that, he gets outrushed by Jalen Hurts on the goal line. He had 130 rushing attempts last year. He had 0 rushing touchdowns. He's the only running back in the NFL that can actually say that. And if you don't believe me on not drafting him, will you believe at least Miles Sanders? Miles Sanders did an interview with NBC Philadelphia, I swear to God, with NBC Universal, with John Clark of NBC Philadelphia, and he literally said, don't pick me in fantasy. Because he knows they want to use multiple running backs. You're going to see some Boston Scott. You're going to see some Kenneth Gainwell.
Yep.
And you're obviously going to see Jalen Hurts around the goal line. Again, it goes to ADP.
Yep.
He's going ahead. Here's some guys he's going ahead of on Yahoo: Devin Singletary, Rashad Penny, Chase Edmonds, Ramondre Stevenson, Cordero Patterson, Dameon Pierce. I'd rather have all those guys than Miles Sanders.
It's just such a narrow gap for him to shoot to be really good because he's not getting red zone touches. Jordan Howard had more red zone touches on the Eagles last season than Miles Sanders.
Right.
He's not really getting passing game work. So it's like, all right, you've got a first and second down back who now is carrying an injury issue as well.
And that's been an issue throughout his career.
Yeah.
Staying healthy and fumbles, both things that don't get you more playing time.
There are like 6 different things where if one goes wrong, then he's just sunk. And they all have to go right. And then if they all go right, even then what really is he? Like 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns? That seems like a really good case scenario. So, yeah, I just don't see the upside.
Right. We both agree there. I'm going to go one last one here for me that made the hate list, and of course check out the entire list. I'm told by my producers that I talk too much, and so we have to skip Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but just know that he's on the hate list. And that's Breece Hall. I don't understand Breece Hall, where he's going. He's going 19th among running backs. He's going top 20.
Is he starting?
No, I don't think he is. Like, again, they held Michael Carter out in the second game of the preseason. Breece Hall played.
Yeah.
This is a San Francisco coaching staff that believes in multiple running backs. Okay, last year, the Jets had the fewest amount of rushing attempts in 2021. I think they're probably, I don't know what the odds are, but my guess is they're probably favorites to be last in the league in rushing yards or pretty close. Michael Carter had 183 total touches last year. Tevin Coleman and Ty Johnson combined for 190.
Yep.
I mean, like, again, it is a committee, and that's Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, Michael Carter.
Yep.
So you've got Breece Hall, who will be in a committee on a bad team behind a poor offensive line that just lost Mekhi Becton for the year.
Yep.
And he's going 19th?
He's going 20 picks in front of A.J. Dillon at the moment. I might just prefer to have A.J. Dillon straight up.
I'm begging my producers to let me curse at the audience. What are we blanking doing?
Yeah. The one thing with Breece Hall is that the way he projects is that some of the commentary is like, this guy's the next Jonathan Taylor. But he's not going to be Jonathan Taylor in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. He is a guy that I could definitely see if he gets the starting job at some point, then his metrics are just off the charts. And if Zach Wilson improves as well when he comes back and the offense looks better, but this is a lot of ifs for a guy that's not even starting right now.
Yeah, the pro Breece Hall argument is he's really good.
Yeah.
Like, we believe in the skill set and the draft capital. The Jets use it. But again, like, you think about the coaching philosophy, they want multiple running backs. They are Kyle Shanahan disciples. This is a coaching staff that came from San Francisco, and they've used it. That's what they did last year. They used multiple running backs here. And by the way, Michael Carter's good.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Carter didn't do anything wrong last year to lose his job. No. Like, they want Michael Carter. And so if they're going to use Michael Carter on third down in some passing game work, that also hurts Breece Hall's ability. Again, this is a team that had the least amount of rushing attempts last year. And I don't see anything from that defense that makes me think like, oh, this is suddenly a team that's going to be leading in a lot of games this year.
No, they're a 6-win team.
Yeah, they're a 6-win team. There you go. Do not draft Breece Hall inside your top 20.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.